Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to Advanced Warfare in Depth. In today's episode, I'm going to be reviewing the IMR Boar Strike. Had a lot of requests for this weapon, and for good reason too. It's the high damage variant of the IMR, and all of you are just kind of itching to figure out what it does. First, I got to give a shout out to Lights Out Gaming. This is his gameplay that he sent in today. He is fairly new to YouTube, trying to build some subscribers. He doesn't even have a custom URL yet. I put a link in the description to his channel. I want you to all go tell him thank you for sending me this gameplay. If you're interested in his content, don't forget to subscribe to his channel. And again, I'm just very grateful that he sent me this gameplay so that I can review this weapon. Now, let's talk about the Boar Strike. The long range damage on this weapon was increased from 24 to 25. Only 1 point of damage, but that does change the shots to kill because we have 100 health. That means where it would previously take 5 shots to kill at long ranges, it now takes 4. That increases time to kill. That's good. That's all things that we like. But since the IMR is a 4-round burst weapon, what that really means is that it can now 1 burst at any range. Previously, at long ranges, you might need 2 bursts to kill. Now it will kill in 1 burst without headshots at any range. That's all the way across any map. 1 pull of the trigger, people die. That is, of course, if you hit all 4 shots, which in Advanced Warfare with exosuits and boosting and stuff like that is not too common, but you catch somebody standing still like a sniper or an annoying LMG guy, and you can absolutely punish them with this weapon. It also has a 15% increased range, and this is a flat increase for all damage zones. Since the Boar Strike is so consistent in its shots to kill, all this really does is increase your 3-shot kill range a little bit. So the IMR actually can 3-shot people, but it's very, very close range, like half a meter. This one will bump it out to like 0.7 meters or something like that. It gives you a little bit of extra room, a 3-shot kill range, so that you don't get cut off. Like if you get 1, 2, and then you miss your 4th one, you have a little bit more wiggle room there. Not really that important because the trick to this weapon is, of course, the 4-shot kill or 1 burst at any range, but it is nice to have. Now let's talk about the downsides, because there are some very serious downsides to using the IMR Boar Strike. First of all, the rate of fire is greatly decreased from 800 RPM to 685 RPM. It'll be lower than both of these numbers after frame rounding, but that's a pretty big nerf. It's especially big on a burst fire weapon because you don't get to control it, you don't get to hold down the trigger, hose it, anything like that. And the slower it bursts, the more accurately you're going to have to track your target. Typically with very high rate of fire burst weapons, you get your crosshairs on them once, you fire once, it shoots out all the bullets incredibly quickly and you don't miss very many. Since this one's bursting slower, you're going to have to track them all the way through the burst, which will be somewhat annoying, but that's not the only rate of fire nerf we have to deal with. The burst delay is also slightly increased, and the burst delay is the amount of time between the bursts, like how long, like you pull the trigger and then you pull it again, it won't quite shoot. There's a little delay before the second burst comes. It's that time in between. This one got a 10 millisecond increase. Not really bad or horrible or anything, it just makes you shoot a little bit slower, of course, but it kind of throws off the feel of the weapon. It'll make it feel a little bit dumpier, maybe not the most fantastic, just something annoying you have to deal with, but that is a nerf. But that is not the last nerf. We have one more really, really big one, and that's the fact that the recoil has been increased by 20%. That's a scary thing, guys. 20% increased recoil on a weapon that is 100% based around your accuracy is a big, big nerf, and you're pretty much going to have to run the foregrip to bring the accuracy back down to regular IMR levels and make this gun usable and practical again. It kind of requires that you have an attachment here, which is another nerf on top of that. This one is a big one, this is an annoying one, and do keep this one in mind if you choose to use the Boar Strike. I do think the Boar Strike is a good IMR variant. It's better than a lot of the other IMR variants just because it can 1-burst kill, and that's an extremely powerful thing to have on a burst fire weapon. Unfortunately, it's still outclassed by the IMR Impact. The IMR Impact has the same damage profile, no significant range nerfs, and it also doesn't have any sort of rate of fire or recoil nerfs. So again, the IMR Boar Strike is a good weapon. You can 1-burst at any range, which the only other one that can do that is the Impact, and it's just outclassed by the Impact, which is an enlisted weapon. But the Boar Strike is probably the second best IMR variant. Impact is the best, Boar Strike is the second best. It's a very good variant. If you have it, definitely use it, keep it, master it. It is a good gun. As for what I think it's best with, I think it's best with the foregrip, red dot sight, and stock. Foregrip, of course, kind of negates that recoil problem. Red dot sight helps you be accurate at any range, and stock is just for mobility, corner peeking, and things like that. It makes your feel of the gun a lot easier. Guys, that's all for this episode of In Depth. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. The previous episode was on the aerial assault drone. The next episode is going to be on the Warbird. I know I've put off the Warbird episode a little bit. I'm having a hard time getting them. And that's it for today. Drifter out.